Good evening. Good. Welcome to the S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity. This week, we're out in the rain because we like to change it up a bit. We're at the wonderful shed, the new shed that was, I think, formerly
Chippenham Shed?
Yeah, Chippenham Shed, yeah. I think it was formerly part of the Man Shed organisation, but we're going to find out more because this is it. That's the lovely shed across there. Can you see that in your... Yeah, we're going to go in and we're going to speak to the good people that are helping run this wonderful community organisation. And we did a bit on the Man Shed before. That was up at the rugby club. It was wonderful. I think this is the dedicated shed, which looks very much like a shed, but a nice shed. Hey? Right, cut for a minute and we'll go back inside and see what crack is. Chippenham Shed, everyone. Chippenham Shed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they work straight away.
Okay, so we're inside. You can tell us that right now, Trev. We're inside this wonderful Chippenham Shed with these two fantastic people. This is Simon.
I'm Simon Saunders. I'm the chair of Chippenham Shed, as we call ourselves now. We used to be called Chippenham Men's Shed, but we've dropped the word men's because we want to try and be a bit more inclusive if we can. And in actual fact, we now have our first, as of about a month, our first female member. So that's great.
Wow, that's amazing.
So,
and of course, you'll remember Trevor from the last incarnation of when it was the Man Shed over at the rugby club, which was also a lovely little get together and what have you did. So, what are your roles? You're the chair now, have you?
I'm the chair, yeah.
And Trevor,
I'm one of the trustees, and I run the allotments down at Cricket Lane.
Oh no, are they part of this?
Yes.
Wow, that's
So
fantastic. Explain that then. That's brilliant.
Well, the thing is, with the allotment, we inherited that, and we thought, well, if the guys, want to have a bit of relaxation, they can go down there. We've got park benches down there.
Fantastic.
And they can cut. We've got raised beds, and we've got facilities down there where they can make a cup of tea and sit down in the sunshine. Quite often in the summer, we get people working down on the fruit and veg lot, and they can sit down. Or if they don't want to do anything down the allotment, just sit and chat. They can sit down and have a cup of tea and talk to the guys that are down there.
It's nice to be near nature, isn't it? So that's actually really good for the mental health.
And we've also had a lot of support from various organisations, the cooperative, the Chippenham Town Council. They very kindly funded a brand new rotavator and strimmer, and have been extremely supportive, along with the other organisations that have supported, like Boroughlands, who funded us for a brand new polytunnel, which cost an absolute fortune, but it's great. It's stood the time, it's tested time with the high winds that we've had.
Yeah.
And so we can grow stuff indoors as well as outdoors.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so the workshop is our latest thing. We opened it, or we had the official opening in January with the local MP doing the cutting of the ribbon, etc. for us. So it was a great turnout. It's worth mentioning that Chippenham Shed isn't just about making and mending, which is our motto actually. We're not just about making and mending. We have a social meeting once a week on a Tuesday at the moment in the afternoon here at the Bowls Club. We do quite a lot of events, such things as beer and curry nights about every 3 months. We have a breakfast meeting over there once a month on a Friday.
Wow.
And in the summer we have an early summer and a late summer barbecue that are hosted at people's houses, and so we try to do quite a lot. In the winter we'll probably pick up skittles again at the Conti Club. So we do quite a few different things, and as Trevor's mentioned, we've got the allotment, and of course the workshop is our latest thing.
So I was a little bit so surprised, so shocked, so inspired. I went high pitched. Could someone come here and not do anything?
When you say not do anything,
Well, if you talk about me, no, but so a member come here, just have a cup of tea and have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not having to,
Absolutely. So Basically, if you're a member, and we probably will get some members like this,
Yeah.
they could just come here, sit in here, get some of the guys to come out, have a cup of tea with them, and have
Yeah.
a chat for half an hour.
Lovely.
So we have a drop-in
Yeah.
sort of sessions. The other thing that's very popular with some of our members who don't want to do the crafts or maybe the allotment or stuff like that, is the social afternoon that we have on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, for example, our oldest member, who's 93 and sort of a little bit frail, should I say, he's very, very happy to come down. One of our members collects him from his home, brings him down and takes him home, and he's just happy to have a couple of hours, coffee and biscuits and tea and stuff over in the
Bit
social
of human
club.
contact. It's lovely.
A bit
isn't
of
it?
human contact, yeah.
Does it cost to be a member?
Yes, it costs. We've just actually changed our membership fee, as it happens. It costs £65 a year, but you can pay monthly if you want to. And if I remember rightly, that works out about £5.50 or something like that. That order, whatever it is. 52 divided by 65. So you don't have to pay in one lump sum. Some people choose to do that. You can pay monthly on a standing order. You could pay twice yearly or whatever. There are different sort of schemes, and they all work out to the same amount. It's actually an improvement, because when we were over at the rugby club, it was a £20 membership plus £2 attendance fee, and for people who attend quite regularly, say maybe 40 times a year, that's £80 plus the 20 is 100.
Yes.
So it's actually cheaper, but people just need to get over the barrier that you're paying £65 in one go. You don't have to. You can pay monthly.
Spread it over the cost. So, what about the drinks and the refreshments?
That's included for the social meetings on the Tuesday. That's included in the price.
Is
you
it?
no longer, you no longer pay the £2 attendance fee. That's included, and also included in that, within that price, is social membership of the Bowls Club. So, because we're obviously using on Tuesday their room anyway to do it. That basically means that if you are a social member, you can use their facilities. You can use the bar, the restaurant, etc. The only thing you can't do is play bowls. So you can use everything else.
That's interesting, isn't it? Right, so on those Tuesdays, do you have a bar?
There's a bar. Our Tuesday meetings start at 2:30, and the bars can be closed by that time. But some people come earlier to have lunch and things, and the bar is still open at that time.
But not that I'm advocating that people drink. I'm just kind of getting the scope for people that.
It is. It varies a little bit. I was a little bit hesitant then, because the Bowls Club has sort of a winter season and a summer season, and they vary a little bit, and we're sort of still getting used to that. Obviously,
have they got an indoor bowls thing?
They've got a massive, great indoor bowls thing.
That's
we'll
cool.
show you the facilities in a little while.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Had a look at the workshop.
That'd be lovely, because I was going to say, what do they do in the winter? It makes sense, doesn't it?
Now, what I wanted to say, sort of next, I guess, comment onto was, you've already had a look at the outside.
Yeah.
When we basically we took over this building last April, and basically it was one of our members who'd come up to make some bowls for the Bowls Club for their raffle. They wanted some little bowls for their raffle,
wow.
and he was coming out with the chairman, and he said, "What's that over there?" And he said, "What, do you want it?" And that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And in April we signed up a leasing agreement with the Bowls Club for this. It used to be the Westcroft Ladies Social Club, and they had it for maybe 20 years or 30 years or something. We have met the lady who used to run it, and she's 90 something now.
Wow.
And they do, from what I can understand, they just got to the point where they were all getting very, very old and didn't want to run it anymore. So so it was vacant for about a couple of years.
Yeah.
So when we took it over, it needed quite a bit of TLC to get it back. So it was at that point sort of becoming a little bit sort of run down, and we've basically about 6 members, the original sort of build team, completely redid this place basically.
Fantastic.
And you'll see that and more of it in a moment. So the kitchen's probably, in some ways, had the least work on it, but it's still very, very good. So we completely have changed it round. We put new flooring in. We've got a brand new toilet in there, and everything else. So it's pretty nice now. And various people have donated time. People have donated items. The TV was donated. The microwave was donated, and so on and so forth. The fridge we already had. So we're basically, and our members made this lovely bench that we've got here.
Fantastic.
It's made by one of the members, and as you mentioned earlier, the table was made by one another. And the thing about this table, and this is part of our philosophy, to be quite honest, is one of the things that I've sort of latched into, and I think is so important, is we're trying really, really hard to reuse materials. I mean, as you can probably see, I imagine this was part of a kitchen at one point.
Yeah.
And it literally, they've just chopped it up, made it really nice, finished it off, put legs on it, and you have a table.
Fantastic.
And we do a lot of work where we get old pallets and basically take the pallets apart. We've got a little machine to test them, to check there's no nails or anything in them, and stuff like that. And once we've got that material, we can put it through our table saw to make nice lengths, or we can put it through our planing machine to give it a lovely smooth finish. But again, it's
Shall we go on a wander?
Yes.
Go on a wander and see these things now that you're talking about them?
Now,
Because
it's going to be a bit noisy at first, but we can. If you tell us when to turn the noise down, then we can do. The other thing is that one thing we didn't do. We did 90% of the work ourselves.
Can you look at that up there? That's isn't it? It's just made by.
But we got a professional electrician in to do completely redo our electrics, because obviously it was a social club before, and we put the electrics in for a workshop.
Yes.
Specifically.
Okay, because you needed a higher.
Well, you'll see.
Bench is great. Wow. Look at this.
I went there and
Would you like to interview one of our?
it was great.
So this is our workshop. As I say, it was completely run down at one time. The windows, for example, it was leaking through there, and we stripped it all down, put new windows in. As we mentioned, we've got new electrics. We have the full up here. We've got the full sort of dust extraction system coming through on all the machines. These machines. So, for example, this particular machine, brand new last year, and that was funded by the Morrison's Foundation. So they funded that one for us. This machine here, brand new planer jointer, and this was funded jointly by Wiltshire Area Board, which is part of Wiltshire Council, and Chippenham Borough Land. So they funded that one for us. This one here, absolutely beautiful table saw. Again, that we bought last summer, and this was funded. One of our members gave us a donation towards that one, so that was a member sort of donation. Really lovely piece of machinery that is, and even got to use it myself the other day. This one, we were very, very lucky with that particular machine over there, because actually we bought the planer on Black Friday. It just happened we bought it on Black Friday, and we managed to get a £400 discount.
Wow.
So we went back to the council and to Chippenham Borough Lands and said to them, can we use this money for something else? And they said, yeah, you can. So that we bought that with the extra money. We would have had to have gone this year to get funding for it again. So it just saved us a job. That was next on the list, really.
Yeah.
If you'd like to, this Dave here. Dave is our workshop manager.
Ed, isn't it? Yes, it is. Pleased to meet you. So, how long have you been a member then, Dave?
Oh, 3 years?
Same time as me. Summer of 21 we joined, didn't we?
Yeah, 3 years, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you've seen the transition then from the old club to this new place?
Well, yeah, when I joined we had no building, no workshop.
Yeah.
We were using the building at the rugby club, and there was very little chance of getting the building back then. So this building we got late last year.
Yeah, April. Wow. We got the lease ship last April. Yeah.
And then we spent from April through to October getting it prepared.
Yeah.
And now we're full swing.
It's fantastic.
Almost.
Yeah.
We're building up slowly.
Yeah.
So this year for us, we sort of agreed, because we had our AGM last week, and one of the things we're going to focus on, we had a really, really hard year, a really successful but hard year last year, because some of us were working more or less full time getting this building up and running and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this year is a year of consolidation. It's about building up the membership and the members who will be using the facilities, because we still need to build up that, but also building up our team a little bit to run the place in particular.
Yeah.
So we want to build up the membership in general, but go for that particular
How many
sort.
members have you got now?
We've got 44 at the moment.
44.
So that's built up by about 50% from last year. So it's building up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we're looking for more. So at the moment we've got a workshop manager and we've got 4 main leads
Yeah.
and 4 assistants.
Yeah.
But we want to, and we're running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings.
Yeah.
But we'd like to, if we can, build that up. It's a bit of a chicken and egg situation
Of course it
because
is, yeah.
you don't want to build up all your supervisors if you're not going to get the interest to come in.
That's right.
But on the other hand, if you get the interest coming in, then you need the supervisors
Yes.
to maybe run. Well, what we'd really quite like to do is a bit of a vision at the moment until we build up a bit more. But ideally, we'd probably like to run something like a Thursday late afternoon, early evening session,
Yeah.
or maybe a Saturday morning session or something like that. Because we're conscious that we'd quite like to, as we were talking about inclusivity, we'd quite like to give the opportunity to people who may be still working to come and have a
That's
look
it.
and,
Yeah,
and,
of
and
course.
come on as well.
Of course, so you can do it in times
Yeah.
when they could come.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I get it.
we're very keen on future proofing, because
Of course.
the very nature of us is that we're all sort of at the moment retired people, and sort of in 3 or 4 years' time we're going to need people to replace us,
Yeah.
to take up the lead and so on and so
What
forth.
is the age group, would you say? What's the age
the
demographic?
the average age works out at 74. So that's our average age.
Wow.
But our youngest person is, actually our very, very youngest person is, our very, very youngest person is actually 18, believe it or not.
Yeah, I can believe
But
it.
I mean, we wouldn't include him in those statistics because it would skew the figures a bit.
Yeah.
So I would say that sort of our youngest person is about in their early 60s.
Yeah.
And right up to 93. So we've got a
Yes.
very wide
Yeah, that's
span.
great. So would you do, I know that you're wanting to include more women, which I think is a great thing. Would you do, because some might be quite shy about being in amongst you. I mean, I'm not shy, and I'm sure Lauren's not shy because you're wonderful men. But would there be a situation that you think of maybe having female board members or supervisors and women only specific days, so that they can, because a lot of them, not for want of trying, I'm sure some of them are very talented and would be tradespeople in their former careers if they're retired, but to learn stuff, because this stuff is amazing.
Well, we definitely want to encourage women who are interested in doing crafts to come in,
Yeah.
and we will be putting on sort of some beginner tuition,
Right.
making bird boxes
Yeah.
and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I was talking about being inclusive.
Yeah.
Probably don't want separate sessions or something like that. My philosophy personally is
Yeah.
we should try to be gender blind if we can.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a person who wants to do craft, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's fantastic.
We've got plans to carry out some basic woodworking courses.
So that's the bit I'm talking about,
Yeah.
really.
Build
So
on
that,
it.
yeah, and it could be male and it could be female, but just because we all know this, that obviously society's ever evolving, and we're in a transition, aren't we?
We are, yes,
Where
absolutely.
and it's great. So it used to be called the men's shed, now it's called the Chippenham Shed. That in itself is a really good evolution because it's just how society is. However, just like women's football, when we were at school, we were allowed to do football and cricket and rugby, and women weren't.
That's right.
Even if so there were female teams, but you hardly ever heard of them. Going back years, Doncaster
Yeah.
Bells, they were banned from playing at one stage. So to play catch up, there needs to be a kind of like a swing to say, and you've said it in the sense that you're going to do introductory workshops, because that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of people would think, wow, this, just some of the stuff we've seen today, just the clock, for instance, and I've seen we used to have your stall when we had the biggest hub in Emery Gate. We used to have loads of amazing stuff that you guys have made. So it's a really high standard. I think that if you're someone, I'm not just saying females, because there will be some talented woodcraft people that are female, but in general, the idea that you're going to put on workshops so that they can go, okay, so I can
Yeah.
start at
Yeah.
a quite a base level
Yeah.
and develop
Yeah,
that space.
absolutely.
That's fantastic.
And you know, with our board, we're trying to build up. Dave's just joined the trustees,
yeah,
and we will try to build that up. And if we can get some female members on it, when the time comes, if
Yeah.
the right people come along, then
course.
then great, absolutely great.
Yeah,
We're
that's
very
superb.
encouraged.
It's really good to hear that.
We're doing quite a bit of networking with the local businesses and things like that.
Yeah.
But also with some of the other sheds. So we're sort of quite friendly with the Colne sheds.
Yeah. Are they called still men's sheds?
They are, but they're looking to
Is that an
change.
Is that an Australian organisation?
It all
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Originally, it all started in Australia. And actually, Colne Shed, they've actually got their first female chair.
Fantastic.
So they've got about 6 female members, and I think
Yeah.
as soon as we
Wow.
as soon as we get 1 or 2 in, I think it will take off a bit.
Yeah, that's it. Just to break the duck, as it were. Get
So
rid
all
of the duck.
all workbenches in here, for
Yeah.
example, are made by members.
Fantastic.
In actual
Wow.
fact,
And this cabinet.
and this cabinet
Oh, wow,
was made
look at that.
by members.
Wow, that's fantastic, man. Look at that.
So we're going to use it for this in particular. It's going to be used for storage for nut screws and nuts and
Yeah.
bolts. And all.
So the material, do you bring your own material because you've got a plan of what you're making, or what? How does that work with things like screws and all your sort of?
Well, we have to buy in screws. The timber for this was purchased from local business. Some wood we bring in. We collect pallets.
Yeah.
And we do an awful lot with pallet wood because
Yeah. Simon
it's
was
free.
saying. Yeah.
And it's quite sturdy, and we can use it for. We've made 2 lean-tos at the back. One where we store wood, timber, and one where we have our dust extractor. All made from pallets.
Wicked. Do you have any relationship with Wiltshire Wood Recycling?
Not specifically at the moment. I think 1 or 2 of our members go up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
we
that's
have-
actually. Have you been there?
I
Yeah.
have, yes.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. There's some really old bits of wood, which I can imagine you guys could certainly think about how that could be changed into something quite spectacular.
Yeah.
So you generally say, if I was coming along, I would have to bring my own wood then if I was want to make something.
It sort of varies, to be quite honest, and because we're at the early sort of stages of building things up.
Yeah.
We don't have a specific rule at this moment.
Right.
Dave would just assess the situation.
Yeah.
So at the moment, for example, I'm just making a sort of a drinks cabinet that's built in at home,
Yeah.
and so I've been making the doors up here. So yes, I bring my own wood up and
Yeah.
just use the tools and facilities.
Yeah.
We've got another member who's just built some planters and things like that. Just over the last couple of
Oh,
days.
wicked.
To show you some I built for at home.
So we're thinking maybe, possibly, we can do things like this and buy the wood in ourselves.
Wow. Oh, there's plenty. Can you get a shot of this? Can you get a shot of that?
Blown up.
Yeah. Can you see that?
I can probably send you one as well.
Wicked. Yeah, that's great. It's amazing.
That's some gravel board.
So good for the mental health, isn't it? It's taking
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that was something else and then changing it into something really usable.
So there's two ends to this really. There's the guys themselves getting the pleasure of making stuff,
Yeah.
whether it be for themselves or for others.
Yeah.
Because we will try to do community work as well.
Yeah.
In fact, we've got our first job, which we're doing at the moment, called Chippenham Borough Lands.
Yeah.
They've got that open spaces. I think is it called Westmead Open Spaces on the Colne Road?
Yeah, so off of Fusion Way, there's a car park up there, and do you know where I mean?
So on that
Past
road,
Diddle.
is it called
Oh,
Fusion Way?
yeah, I know what you mean. Yes.
It's not far from
Yes,
where
yeah.
you
On the
take
right-hand
the
side of
walk
the
down to the canal, is it?
Yes,
It's in
it
that
is.
sort of area.
Yeah.
They've actually got a really nice dog walking area up there
Yeah.
and everything else, and they've got carvings and wood carvings up of different birds and stuff like that,
Yes,
animals.
that's it, yeah.
So we're just starting to make our first bench for them because I just
Yeah.
want to enhance.
When you
that
say
bit
for
more.
them, you mean for us, because obviously.
Well, it's for
Chippenham-
all of us at the
Borough-
end of
I was
the
gonna
day.
say,
Isn't it?
Borough
It's for the
Lands
environment, yeah.
is actually for Chippenham people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just administered by some people,
yeah.
but
So
in reality, it's actually
it
Chippenham
is.
people's money.
It is, and
Yeah.
we're gonna
And put to good use here, which is
give
great.
the carvings a bit of TLC,
Yeah.
And so that's our first one, and we've got others that we look at. So not only are we doing stuff for ourselves, getting the pleasure out of making it, but hopefully the end product will also, or some of them will be useful to the
Well,
community
that's
as well.
fantastic. Absolutely, absolutely. Right, did you want to show us the social
Yes,
bit across
okay.
there? Thanks for that.
Okay,
Lovely
nice to
man.
see you.
It's great. You've got to see
The
you
only
guys.
thing we didn't show you
Yeah.
is we also have a little lathe, and that was donated by a member on long
Cool.
term use. So you can
George,
see they're making
yeah.
a bowl.
Oh yeah, how good's that? That's fantastic. Who's making that then? Andy. It's lovely, isn't it?
That's his first effort.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it looks like we've done brilliantly since our annual general meeting, haven't we?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It looks proper here, doesn't it? It looks like a professional. Yeah,
working with
really
through
good.
them.
Well, you know what they say about 2 buses, don't you?
Yeah, we used to have that, didn't we, in the shop? We used to have that in our shop.
Steve,
Get out of your way.
Steve and
Yeah. We do quite a few jobs for the Bowls Club as well.
See one? So this is what's this? The Chippenham.
So this
Bowls
is
Club.
it's actually called
Ah.
it's called North Wilts Indoor Bowling Club.
Uh-huh.
That's his official title.
Right.
I normally call it North Wilts Bowling Club, but because they've got both.
Cool.
but-
No, that's excellent. Right. Smells good as well. Okay, so this is the North Wilts Bowling Club, which obviously we can't film very much of, but it's a wonderful place. So that's also interesting, which you also have your social bits connected socially. Oh, you're going to break it.
No, I've got it.
I just did the same thing. So we're going to come back, Trev, aren't we? When the allotment's up and running. So we'll have a look at that at a later date and do a separate podcast. But we're going to put the details of how you get membership to this wonderful organisation. Remember, it's no longer the men's club, the men's shed. It's the Chippenham Shed, and it's inviting female participation, which I think is incredible. So more power to what you're doing, gentlemen.
Thanks, Ed.
And
Thank you.
really impressed. And
Cheers,
we'll come
Ed.
back to this.
Yeah.
And we'll have a look at the allotment.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, just another speck in the cosmic shower.